You've reached Firearm Fury with another scope review coming at you. This is the Vortex Crossfire 2, and this is another scope that I'm giving away. I'll have the link to the giveaway video explaining what you need to do in order to be eligible for the scope giveaway. I'll also have a link to that video in the description. So the Crossfire 2, made by Vortex. Well, it's made by Vortex, so one thing you've got already is that great unlimited lifetime warranty. I've had to use this warranty a few times and it has been absolutely great. No hassle at all. So let's get started. Let's get into things here. Here are all the specifications for this scope. First off, the clarity. How good is the glass? I'd say it's pretty good. It's going to be pretty hard to beat this glass for $150. You can get this scope anywhere from $150 to $200. Now, as far as the eye relief goes, these low power variable scopes, they have great eye relief to begin with. This is probably just above average. It's pretty good eye relief. Hard to complain for $150. And the reticle, I'll have a picture of it here on the screen. The reticle's pretty good. I don't mind it at all. There's no hash marks or anything, so if you were wanting to adjust for elevation, you would need to do that with the turret. The reticle, as I said before, it's not too thick. It's actually pretty thin, which I really like. It has an illuminated reticle, as you can see here. It's a 1:4 by 24 30mm tube. And there is no throw level on it, but I feel the friction on the power adjustment wheel is perfect. It's not too loose where you could accidentally move it, but it's not too tight where it's a pain to move. This is a pretty good scope, although there are some cons, which I feel are the turrets. I'll go ahead and take a look at those now. So the scope is in MOA, minute of angle. Now if you're at 100 yards, 1 click equals half MOA. There are no horizontal markings to tell you how many revolutions the turret has been turned, but it does have a line right there that shows you what number you're on. Now there is 30 MOA per revolution. That's pretty good. As far as the turrets go, you can't reset them. There's no way to go back to 0 on the turret. Suppose you're at 20. You set it in and you ended up being at 26. You can't lift it up or unscrew this to get it back to 0 as far as I'm aware. As far as the turrets go, this is one thing I dislike. They're pretty mushy turrets. They're pretty mushy. You can hardly hear them click, if at all. You can feel them click, but that's it. And like I say, they're pretty mushy. So you feel it click, and you've got some play in there, so you're not entirely sure what number you're on. So they're not the greatest. They'd work, but definitely not the greatest turret. Honestly, a little disappointed by the turret. The windage one is the exact same.
Alright, out here with the Crossfire 2 for the tracking test. We'll put 2 shots in the middle to start out with. Alright, we've got 2 holes in the center. Now we'll go to the upper left corner. So each click is half MOA. Now we're at 50 yards here, so I'm going to have to go double to get the same adjustment that I would at 100. So the top left corner, we're going to go up 10 MOA, and we're going to go left 10 MOA. Go run 2 shots through it. Alright, now go to the upper right corner. I'm going to move it back to 5 MOA where we started for windage, and then I will move it 10 more MOA to the right. Now we'll go down to the bottom right corner. First, I'm going to move down 10 MOA to get back to 12 MOA on the turret, which is where we started. And then I'll move it down an additional 10 to, that should be 5 inches lower than the bullseye and 5 inches to the right. Now we'll move to the bottom left corner. So I'm going to move it 10 MOA to the left to get us back centered on windage. I'm going to move it 10 more MOA to the left to get us to the lower left corner. Now let's get back to center. So we're going to go up 10 MOA, back to 12 on the turret where we started, and we will go to the right 10 MOA. We will be dead center again.
Well, the tracking tests seem to do okay. The 2 shots at the top left corner, if you average them out, the elevation was right at 5 inches, and the windage was about 4.5 inches, averaging the two. They were about an inch apart. I don't know if that was just me or what, but about 4.5 inches if you average them out. The top right, the elevation was about 4 3/4, and the windage was about 5 inches if you average them out. Again, there's about a 1 inch spread between those. The bottom left corner, again, elevation was around 4 3/4 inches averaged out, and the windage for the bottom left corner was right at 5 inches. Moving to the bottom right corner, elevation right at 5 inches, windage was 4 3/4 inches. And then going back to 0, it was about a half an inch low, possibly a little left. So overall, I'd say the tracking did pretty good. The furthest we were off was about half an inch, and that was, going back to center. Windage and elevation were both pretty close, but they were a little bit off. So probably we wanted to do a little bit more experimenting if you plan to use these turrets to track elevation and windage. But overall, I'd say it did pretty good for a $150 scope. So the question is, would I recommend this scope for $150 to $200? The answer may surprise you. I actually like Vortex scopes. I have quite a few of them, and they work well for me. As I mentioned before in this video, the scope is great eye relief. It's clear, but there are better scopes for this price. Check out the scope giveaway video that I've done. You have a chance to win this or a few other scopes. The link is in the description, so go ahead and check that out to find out what scope I think is better than this for $150. Thanks for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Please give it a like if you did. Remember to subscribe, and I'll see you next time on Firearm Fury.